Good morning, everyone. Welcome to American Scousers Morning Coffee or Tea with American Scouser. It is Wednesday. That's right. I'm back to being the greatest dads. Not too big on this. It's a Jamaican coffee. It's a little off, but it's going to have to do. Good morning. How are we doing? We are here finally after a win. Good morning. It is. Good morning, actually. It's a long good. Sergi. But yes, finally we're here after a win. Some good things to talk about, some decent things to talk about. Aside from obviously the whole Mo drama happening in the background. I'll kind of like give my take. I know we talked a lot about it on Monday night podcast, and obviously in the morning with Matush as well. But there was a lot being said yesterday in the pre-match, post-match shows. I find some of the takes by experienced pundits and players just saying some stuff that are like, what? Like, it makes no sense. And it's odd to say when, it's an odd feeling when you totally agree with Jamie. Hey, we love Jamie. Obviously, we do a lot for his foundation as well. Every year we do the fundraiser and stuff. So, but usually it's like, no, man, come on. But this time I'm almost like agreeing everything he's saying word by word, it feels like, which is like a really odd feeling, is almost like saying what I'm thinking or something. But we'll talk about a little bit of, I do want to talk a little bit about that. I do want to go to the game as well, but can someone explain me, because I keep seeing this, and I just saw a reel literally as I was making the coffee, of Lineker Shearer talking about this, that they feel, and look, I understand like where Mo is coming from and why he would be frustrated, probably slightly embarrassed, disappointed, and all that kind of stuff. We're not debating that aspect of it. We're debating how he reacted to that disappointment and all that. But people saying why he didn't, or like they don't understand why Mo did not go in the Leeds game. Can someone who has this view tell me when he will be subbed in? During what point in that game did you say we need Mo in here? You didn't say it when we went up 1-0, because you didn't say it when it was 0-0 because we were playing well. You didn't say it when we went up by 1. You didn't say it when we went up by 2. 2-1, you were probably more worried about what the hell was going to happen and cussing out Konate, so you were too busy to say it during then. Then it became 2-2. That is the only time for a 3-minute period you could have said, we need Mo in there. Like, he might change this game, or he might win us this game, or something like that. But 3 minutes later, we scored, so we were up. So at one point afterwards, did anybody say, this game needs Mo? He will help us defend this, like the protect and defend this lead. I really do not get that, because you do not want him on defending set pieces. He does not have the height. I was initially like, why do we put Isak in? Because he's not really closing down and stuff like that when they were trying to build from the back. But, at least he's there with his height for set pieces. And if you do go back and watch the game, there's a couple that actually he clears inside the box. So at one point, did anybody say, hey, this is where he should be coming in? And there was really no point. So I would have no rights. Yeah, honestly, first of all, Klopp would not have the balls to take Mo out. He never did. That's another thing about this whole Slot can't manage Mo. Klopp did. Yeah, Klopp never took him out. Did not take him out. And it's ironic, Jersey, that you keep saying bringing Klopp's name. Klopp is the guy who took your boy Mane out because he knew Mane would be a lot more smarter and professional, would be able to handle it. When they had that drama, he took Mane out instead of Mo, who is the one who should have come out. And then when he took him out last year, we saw what happened. And he only did it because he knew he was already on his way out, and he didn't give a damn at that point. But let's not joke about it. This is all about Mo and Mo alone. Doesn't have anything to do with the manager. I got into a huge thing yesterday with some of these people in a WhatsApp chat where they're, I just hate the fact that you can have the pitchforks out, you can have the torches, you're trying to get rid of slots. But I mean, that should not blind the way you look at things. All these people, especially the ones I'm arguing with right now, and I'm done with them because I just can't. That's not fandom. That's not fandom. You have an agenda, you're running with it. But um, these people I know said Mo should be benched. Slot is not a good manager. Any decent manager would have benched Mo by now. They said this. I have this. Like, you scroll up and it's in there in the WhatsApp chats. But then when Slot took Mo out and Mo threw a temper tantrum, that was Slot's fault somehow too. That is just ridiculous to say. That is just ridiculous to say. So that's not even an opinion. You just basically just like a biased bullshit that I just cannot stand. And that's what aggravates me the most about this. And that's what makes me mad at Mo, because he's the one who started this by going to the media. It could have been in the background. He went to the media. And you can kind of see why the change was made, because we were calling for it. He's nowhere near his old numbers. I think the Mo we had last year, where you could say you don't have to defend, because his numbers, I was watching Adam Clary, like, compare stats yesterday, I believe, and his defensive stats are about the same, which is fine. We never were like, Mo's a great defender, let's have him out there. But he had the numbers to justify 10 other people covering for it, and he does not. So now you're not getting any offensive attacking production, and obviously you were never going to get defensive production either. So, like, it was clear why he had to be benched, and I think he can be a power, if he approached it better. I know he has a huge ego, and there's this, and I get he's a legend of the club. We all love Mo. I mean, have like ridiculous number of great memories thanks to Mo, right? But him thinking he's entitled to a spot and saying it is probably like the worst thing. Not only he talked to the media, I feel like he said some things that, unless you're blinded by your slot out agenda, that you're like, I don't know about that. Like, you might be right. I hear you, but I don't know about that. Like, I don't know about you being entitled to a position. So to take that as a fact and kind of like support Mo in this, I just don't get it, because you're not going to support, let's say, another manager comes in, whoever the fuck you want, because most of these people don't have a name. They just anybody but Slot kind of a thing, CVG and shit. So like, let's say CVG comes in next week, Soboslai does this. Are you guys gonna back Soboslai? Hell no, because you're gonna be like, no player is bigger than the club, and no players should be bigger than the club. So whatever you're gonna say then, just because you have a slot out agenda, you should not be like saying now, like, told in a different way, that you're going to change. I just cannot understand that. I can't get behind that. I think it's disgusting, to be honest with you, because there were so many people disappointed yesterday. This team played pretty well and lost. And I egged people to say it in that group yesterday when it was 0-0. Because I was like, hey, you know what? If we get like an unlucky goal at the end and we lose, the whole narrative is going to change. So I constantly egg to say, hey, we're having a decent performance. They did not say a word, because they did not want to say, yes, we're playing a lot better. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. And he is going after slots. Oh, come on. Come on, Z. You are just backing him just blindly. Who's he going after? And why is he doing it the way he did? When were you going to sub him? When did you say this is the time? 2-1. You said after Konate caused the penalty, you said, you know what, Mo should come in. Well, that's horrible management, I think, if you thought that's when like Mo should come in, because I knew there was going to be a panic mode. But he's not going after. He doesn't know whoever. He doesn't name him because he doesn't know, because there's no agenda against him. It's just that he's not producing right now. And like we all said that he should be benched. He's benched and he doesn't like it. And he's not going to like it. If there wasn't so much heat on slots, I really thought he would have waited and kind of like, until AFCON started, because I'm sure he knew there was going to be a lot of drama. But, obviously with your butt on the line, you're going to do what you can. And so did it. And I know there's a lot of people not happy yesterday. And that's disgusting to me. That is disgusting, that you would rather be right than have the club succeed. That's just like, that's not fandom. That's not being a supporter. That's just being an asshole. That's all I can say. I mean, some of these guys are. They really are. Like what they say, I am literally disgusted in the conversation, and that's why after a while, going back and forth is kind of like worthless. That's why I've kind of like taken myself out of a lot of chats because I think like people are just not even. We're not even like talking football now. We're not even talking. Would somebody people want a head. It's like freaking like like it's like gladiator, like throw them out there. We just want to see some blood kind of a deal. It's just like stupid. Good morning, Scotty. Crystal, how long do you think before we're seeing Slot getting a team constantly the Liverpool way? I know what the Liverpool way means, so you're gonna have to explain to me what Liverpool way means. Are we talking like more attacking? Because I'm not a huge fan of Liverpool doesn't play that way. I don't give away. I don't give a damn how Liverpool plays. I mean, yes, it was a lot more entertaining watching club years and stuff, but I just want them to win. And I know the way we're playing right now is a lot slower than we're used to. It's a lot more possession based. So it's not like, as heavy metal, if you will. But I don't think that was ever necessarily the Liverpool way. That was more like the Klopp way. I think, obviously we all want to see more attacking football. We want us to more attack and stuff, but I really want us to win. How many times did we get frustrated initially when Klopp came, where we would score like 3-4 and we would concede like 3-4? So it's like, well, that defeats the purpose. Like, yeah, this is great, but we're not winning. I just want them to win. Was yesterday pretty? Not really. I think, it was well deserved. I thought the cancel goal was weird. Anytime you have to look at something for like half an hour, like a freaking documentary, then it was probably not clear and obvious. Otherwise, you would do it a lot faster. But I get the call, whatever. I feel like, if it was that clear, why did it take that long? It wasn't clear. I thought it should have stood. But I mean, the penalty is a clear penalty just because, he didn't fall down. And I hate that, like people, and I'm listening to the commentary. People are feasting on Liverpool's like lack of success, like over the last few months. People are just freaking loving it. And they were trying to make every goddamn excuse for that not to be a penalty. I don't understand why, because, being like yanked over there. Bob, where do you get these stats, man? Really, I really want to know where you get these stats. Unless you're looking at this year. If you're looking at last year, that is probably more slot ball there. That's why we always said, hey, the slot specialist 2-0. And really, if it's not for Konate, we talked about this on Monday night, so I don't want to go back to it. But if it's not for Konate, sliding at a freaking angle instead of going, like, I understand the sliding even, which even now is kind of risky because it can hit your hand and stuff, and God knows what the natural position is. But why are you sliding at an angle towards the dude? Like, it's wanting to slide across to block the cross, but not like at an angle where you're going to hit the dude too. Like, it was so stupid. And if it wasn't for that, I really think we finished that game off in a very boring slot fashion possession. We keep the ball a lot. We don't attack a lot, but we finish it at 2-0 and we're done. So 2 goals belong to Grammar, not Konate. The second goal, you mean? I'm talking about the first goal. The second goal, yeah, it's the right-hand side of the defense is falling asleep. The first goal is the penalty. It's Konate and nobody else. I mean, like, literally, it doesn't, like, he didn't even need to slide. Let's say you slid. Why are you sliding at an angle towards the dude? Because, you're freaking Konate. You're huge. So it's not like you're going to be stopping on a dime. So that is what it is. But, yeah, it just does not make any sense. I think sliding over there is not the right move, first of all, because then you're kind of exposing yourself if it's a fake cross. I mean, you're freaking huge. So all you got to do is just close it down. So if he does get to the ball before it hits the line, you block the cross or you're right on him. And more likely, he's not getting there, and it's a goal kick. It was no need to slide over there. You had everything under control. Some of the fouls that actual professional players make is mind-boggling. Sometimes it's all about getting lost in the moment and stuff. But like he was. How many times have you heard like he was not going anywhere? Like there was no reason. Like two guys, like two defenders on a guy in a corner, and they follow him. It's like, dude, he's not going anywhere. Like we got him. He's here. It's just me, you, him. We're going to get this ball and we're going to leave over here. But then, giving a cheap foul away. So it was a stupid decision, but that was why. But yeah, so going back to what Scotty was saying. I forgot over there. It was tongue in cheek, but Yeah, I think it's gonna take time. You see it yesterday a little bit. I'll tell you what, I thought yesterday, if we had from the get-go, and I love Gomez and I think Gomez had a good game, but that's not Gomez's game, if you will, to be able to take somebody on. But if, and that's why we look so much better after Bradley came in. And I know like neither one of them probably had 90 minutes, and that's why we had to do this. I expected Bradley to get more of the minutes, knowing he's suspended, isn't he, for the Brighton game? So I thought he would play. But anyway, my thought throughout the game was every time Gomez got that ball on the diagonal, well, this was Bradley, or even better, if this is instead, for example, Frimpong, that is not going to be an easy thing to defend. I would not think they would defend it the way they would do it, for example, if it was Frimpong there, because you don't want Frimpong 1v1 with your left back because he's just going to run by him in most cases with the speed. But obviously, they could do that with Gomez and stuff. But I felt, hey, the way we're moving the ball and then we can sweep to the diagonal is pretty darn impressive. And I thought overall our ball possession and movement and stuff was like really good yesterday. I mean, if you look at the stats, it's not like we were so much better yesterday. It's like 12 shots to 9, 5 on target to 2. Definitely better. Not like, a whole lot better, but I think it was in terms of the way we played, defensive stability, the efforts, the pressing. I thought everything was a lot better. Having said that, there were a lot of moments where this is probably for both teams, but you felt like, oh shit, kind of moments where you're like, outnumbered or somebody is on the ball in a dangerous spot with no one near, and they could never capitalize. There was a couple of moments where like if the pass is better, they're probably in like 1v1 or something like that, but they could not capitalize. We had a few of those moments too, though, to be fair, where we could not, like if the pass was a bit too fast or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, I agree to this, Bob. I did think it did look like, first of all, the entire game looked like, and I know it's an Italian team, so it looked like a, Serie A game where we're defensive, cagey. I think both teams did not want to lose as like the first goal, and you can kind of understand, especially from Liverpool perspective, why that is. But for Inter, I thought Inter would be more on us. I was kind of happy to see. I mean, even though he's Turkish and I like him, not against us. Like Hakan Çalhanoğlu get hurt early because I feel like he's the one who pulls the strings there. And like that set piece that they got like 3 minutes later, we were very happy that he was not the one taking it over there, because he's really excellent on those, especially in that spot. But Jimbo, keep that TV off, man. If that was the case, yes, don't come anywhere. don't turn the TV on this Saturday. But I thought it was a well played game. Like you say, you did not say, "Oh wow, they're back" or anything, which you're not going to say within like 3 days. But considering all that is going on in the background, thanks to Mo, by the way, that's with all that drama going on in the background, where I mean, even us on Monday morning and Monday nights, we talked probably more about Mo, not probably, definitely talked more about the Mo incidents and the fallout from it, as opposed to the Leeds game. And like, even that Monday night where we do a bit more of like an analysis. Monday morning, we're just more goofy, but Monday night, we do a more of like a bit more of a tactical analysis, subs and stuff like that. We just didn't even get there because we were mostly talking about this whole like Mo thing that Mo brought upon us. I don't know how it will go from this point on in terms of like things being said before the game and after the game. I think the players are saying the right things. I think the reaction you see from the players was real good. I don't know what you guys thought, but I thought it was pretty impressive that, the effort was there, the minds were there. I know, if we conceded first with our fragile nature, it could have gone south as well. But I thought overall the reaction was good over here. The need for folks to watch the last 2 months and the one that we can't just light the world on fire is so frustrating as a van. Baby steps. Yeah, it is baby steps. Going back to what like Billy was saying, I think it's just a matter of, this is the formation that we were talking about. I am still not sold on Isak and Ekitike at the same time, because it just feels like when they go out wide, both of them, Isak more than Ekitike, are almost like a little bit out. I know it kind of helps because some usually takes the center backs with them, and you could tell, especially after the substitution, they were kind of like all over the place. But it's I think if you have somehow kind of work Wirtz into that diamond, because I don't know who leaves from that midfield. Unfortunately, it probably looks like Macau, who is kind of like center of every triangle being set there, and looks like they play well normally with Wirtz. But you know, honestly, Gravenberg, by the way, was the player of the match yesterday, and I found that shocking because I thought like it would have been Jones. If somebody asked me, I would have said Jones because I thought he was excellent. But then, like, I don't think I would put him in the top three options. But I just saw it literally this morning that he was the player of the match a year later, like in San Siro, after like he was against AC Milan as well. So I did not get that at all. But maybe it's just me. I don't know if he had like great stats or something. I was gonna look at it before he went on air, but didn't have enough time. But so Serzi says Stevie G hit the nail on the head. Fixable situation as long as Salah can swallow his pride. Yeah, I mean, I can retire as long as I win the lottery. But that's the problem there. And that's the only thing I did not necessarily like about Slots and what he said about it in the post match. I know why he's saying it, and we don't know the conversation, so maybe he has a right to say it because we don't know how Mo. I mean, we see how Mo went about it. I'm sure Slot doesn't appreciate how Mo went about it because Mo pretty much went out there and said, "Me or Slot," and you can sugarcoat it any freaking way you want. But when a player does that, he's trying to put the nail in the coffin. So hitting the nail on the head by Stevie G, that's what Mo was trying to do in the coffin for Slot. So I can understand why Slot would not appreciate that and say, yeah, he is gonna have to come back to me and apologize because he's the one who did it. He pretty much almost said so, and why is Seedorf like is Seedorf and Mo butt buddies? Like, I don't understand why Seedorf was like acting like it was his freaking like lawyer or something for like Mo. I like this whole fake, like we all wanted to make it work and stuff. It's like, no, you don't, because then you wouldn't have shit to talk about. So let's not even go there. But I did not like how Slot addressed that and flat out said it. I would have probably liked him to be a bit more vanilla with the answer there, but the Dutch guy that he is, he was like a bit probably too honest, to be honest with you. Watching that, someone was like, "Oh shit, we forgot to nominate." Honestly, yeah, it was. But that's why, like, I literally had to think because it didn't like a name didn't pop. Like, how come he didn't win it or something like that? I had to think about who the player of the match would be. But to me, it would be Jones. I thought it was excellent yesterday. I thought the midfield was good. I overall, I mean, I thought Konata was pretty good. Gomez was good. I think Robertson brings some stability. Having said that, I think in that formation, ideally, going back to what Scotty was saying, we do, you know, that's future probably has a Kirkes and Frimpong, with speed on the sides. But that's going to take time to implement. First of all, Frimpong has to get healthy, but I think that's what you want ultimately, to have the width, and then your guys are a bit more inverted, and and then you invert it, and then you have Ekitike and Isak in the middle over there. How much do I like the rest of the season? I called us to win the Champions League, so still getting shit about it. But hey, yesterday another win. We're on the way. Yeah, I'm not thinking at this point in the league, you're just hoping for Champions League. This weekend will be huge because you gotta get a couple of wins back to back to start converting people, fans. Because there's a lot of people I feel like in the middle right now. But the slot all people, as they always are, the toxic people are the loudest. So they are going to be the loudest on social media and stuff. So when you go to social media, and here's another thing, a lot of these people who are like that on social media, in person, they're not as psychotic and toxic. Thank God, otherwise they'd be punched in the face. So they only do that on social media, like go out in that attitude. That's their land over there. But so I think a couple more. There's a lot of people in the middle who want to support the club and the team, the squad, the manager, as they should be supported by a fan, by a supporter. Keyword supporter, get it? But there's it's kind of like sometimes hard to justify with the results and some of the things we're seeing. I think as you get wins, those people in the middle will keep shifting back to where they should be, and you'll have the crazies, unfortunately, all the goddamn time, because that's what gets clicks. That's what these people use sport for. This is their out. Like, they can't be crazy and obnoxious in their regular lives, in their 9 to 5. So this is their out. So they have to go after somebody. So they can't go after their own freaking boss, because they have to swallow their pride and do whatever the hell they say. So they just go after somebody else's job instead. So the whole, I've never seen, I like read some comments, and it's just mind boggling to me of how hungry people are for, like, literally blood. They just want, and they'll say anything. They will say anything to justify it. Like, they will like, they'll support a point just to justify it. And I know all these people are going to back in a month and say the complete opposite. And I know, how do I know that? Because these are the same assholes who said Mo should be benched. But now it's Slot's fault that Mo was benched, and Mo acted like a 5-year-old and threw a temper tantrum. Somehow Slot's fault, because that's how these people operate. So I know in a month they'll change their tune, they'll say something else, they'll start swearing off Mo again and stuff. So that's basically what it's going to be. Yeah, I mean, I hate to say it's our Thursday night pods, Surzi's a part of, is a bit to the extreme for me. But on this channel, everybody says whatever they think, feel. We don't do what some of these channels do, like, this week we're going to be positive, this week we're going to, like, yeah, whatever you feel, you say. But that's how I feel. I don't think our Thursday pod is as extreme and toxic, but definitely more to leaning one side than the other, I think, very obviously. And we all know, and I always give shit to Kazi, I think, like, when you are over emotional with stuff, you don't make sense, and you can't make sense. So it might sound great for the time, for that second, because your emotions line up with those emotions and stuff, but the next day that shit doesn't make any sense, and it sounds crazy. And then you sound crazy to yourself. You say the complete opposite the next day, because the brain says, excuse me, please, and comes in, and then you have to listen to the brain, because that's the part you should be listening to in most ways. But yeah, I think that's why this weekend's game is big in that sense. You do want to have some kind of like a momentum. You do want to have another win. Jimbo says he thinks it's recoverable. There are forces upstairs at work. Look, here's my thing with that. And I do want it to work. I don't want Mo's last game to be whenever the hell his last game was. He came in at halftime against Sunderland, right? And how effective was he? Right? That everybody is like, oh, like Mo, he should have played at least, because he played so great against Sunderland. But I think, if you're right, Jimbo, where Edwards and Hughes are involved, there could be two reasons for that. One, they are eyeing the 50 to 100 million or whatever they would get by moving him in January to convert to something else. My fear would be, as much as I want it to work, I can see the same thing happening again mid-February, end of February, beginning of March, because Mo is Mo. He has always been this dude. Part of what makes him great is this guy, like that personality, that's ego of saying he's entitled, and all that kind of stuff is why he's a great player, because you have to be a little like that. But and yeah, see, the passionate thing, I definitely understand, but this was not something that was said. This is planned, and that's what makes me angry and frustrated. I don't care if Mo is angry and frustrated, but that's what makes me angry and frustrated. If this is said on his way out off the pitch, like he goes out there, claps fans or whatever, and then he's leaving and he says that, I'd be like, yes, he's frustrated, heat of the moment. People say stuff. That's fine. This is like very calculated, and that's what freaking kills me. Like to go back in, I'm gonna come back and say a bunch of stuff. You guys stay here, and then go in, take your shower, change, whatever, and then come back and say it. It's not heat of the moment. It's very calculated. He did the same thing with his contract twice. So this is not a guy who talks like, how many games have you lost? If he was that passionate and actually angry and frustrated with the results as opposed to being benched, I would have expected him to be all passionate, because all these people are like, oh, he like, I don't buy he's a very passionate player. I know he's a very passionate player, but that's not why he's talking now. He's not talking because he's frustrated, like he's so passionate, he wants to win and stuff like that. He's like frustrated because he's benched. And that's what like annoys me. He could have said something. I mean, they still warm up, don't they? I mean, he was on the bench, so they do halftime on the sideline. Come on, Z, you can't just like leave afterwards. You're gonna be all sweaty and shit. Jeez. But no, I think that's what frustrates me, is it was like calculated. But I know what Gordo is saying. Is he gonna admit that? Probably not. I don't think so. Knowing him, I wish he would, because really he could be a big part of the deal. He could hit this stride and then maybe like get more minutes. Champions League, he has the experience. I just would wish that he would be more of a Robertson type leader and pick his spots. And it's a lot easier for a guy like Mo to pick his spots and suddenly become the starter, as opposed to a guy like Robertson. Not to mention, there is not somebody young over there trying to like replace him and stuff that we signed for good money. So not Mo's position. We didn't address that because God forbid Mo has a backup. We have not had a backup right wing because Mo cannot be taken off the pitch for the last like freaking like 8 years over here. By the way, all those people talking like Klopp and stuff like that. We literally did not have a backup right winger. We sold all of them. Anybody who like had resembled like they could play there, we were like, yeah, you gotta go, man, because you can't be replacing Mo and stuff. So he still will have his spot. He will still have his minutes, and I think it's a lot better. I mean, Gordon knows he's a striker. He can come in, score a couple of goals. Next thing you know, he's a starter. It's a bit easier for starters to make their way in and be permanent because they're hot at the time, as opposed to like a left back who's like like how often they're like, oh, he's really hot right now. He's defending really well and stuff. So. But I just don't think he's going to do that. I wish he does. But going back to what Jimbo was saying, I don't know if the powers that be are afraid that this might happen again in a month. And now we got to wait till summer. Whereas now, and maybe that's why Mo did it now, because he feels like he can go out. So, well, Chiesa had the runs. Like anytime Chiesa would be able to play, we're talking with Angie yesterday. Elliot was like this. Remember, like anytime like he would be able to actually start because somebody was injured and stuff like that, the dude has something going. Like he was injured last time. He clearly apparently had the runs based on the press conference and like how Slut explained the illness. So he had the runs this time. So that's like unlucky because I really think he was going to play yesterday. Definitely going to get minutes yesterday. I don't know if he would have started, but he was definitely going to get a lot of minutes yesterday. I don't know the whole Chiesa thing. I'm not understanding it as well. But you would think there's a reason for it. And I know our opinion of Chiesa is a lot higher than it probably should be, because we always see Chiesa coming in as the last attempt, having like 7 strikers on the pitch. The other team is really leaning back and we're like, he's already been in 2 situations. Well, yeah, because like we're literally playing the game in the opponent box at this point because there's like 10 minutes left. So I think it kind of skews how we view him as well. But again, this is exactly, see, like you're making your own point and you're debunking your own earlier substitution that you made, Serzi, There was really no point in that game where you said we need more attacking over here. Like there was no point where we said we need more attacking. We were up 1-0, 2-0. Stupid penalty 2-1 within like what 2 minutes or something like that, it becomes 2-2 within 3 minutes, making a 3-2. There was no point in that game where you said we need attacking. Only you were substituting an attacker away at Leeds, knowing how Leeds are. And once we got him back into the game, we got the fans back into the game thanks to Konate. So um Bob says Kesa won't start until nobody's capable to play. I don't get it either. I'm like, I don't know. It feels like there has to be a reason. I really think our opinion of him is skewed because we only see him in those situations. But should he get more minutes? I would like to see him get more minutes with more regular players. And maybe he will now. Maybe with the system change, he will. Let's see. Semenyo, maybe one more winger. See, I don't know about that now either. Like normally, Semenyo made sense, right? To replace Gakpo and stuff. If we're going to play like we played yesterday, I don't know where anybody fits on that one. Like, do you play like Semenyo and Isak together, Semenyo and Ekitike together? I don't know where it would go and what kind of a player they would want. I would think you need more guys like. Is Semenyo that player? I don't think so. I don't watch Bournemouth enough. I only watch him when he's terrorizing us mostly. But is he like a Szoboszlai like player? Like nobody's like Szoboszlai like running wise, but somebody who can play on the wing and defend and then come centrally if needed. It's almost you need like more Szoboszlais on this team. Is like when you look at yesterday, and I know yesterday does not say a lot because he only had like 13 players who are like have any kind of experience, and he comes out with an 11. So I don't know if he that's how he normally wants to play, or this is all we had, so we threw everything that we had on the pitch and see what it will be. I mean, yeah, if he is like that where he can go up and down the left hand side, because I know he can play across the front, Bob. It's just a matter of defensive work rate, because especially if you're gonna have 2 9s, everybody else has to have like a ridiculous defensive work rate if you're gonna play with like 2 strikers up top. But I mean, I would definitely love to have him, but and so would you guys trade Semenyo for Mo right now? All the Semenyo people in the chat. Yeah, would you guys replace Mo with Semenyo? Would you guys be okay with that? So like Mo is gone, damn it, but Semenyo is here. Not that it's one or the other, but I'm just saying like if that would be a satisfactory replacement. Because here's the thing, like Mo leaving, yeah, I mean you get rid of the drama, but I mean Mo is Mo. You had like Mo, you were counting on Mo for a lot of like numbers, attacking numbers. So you do have to replace those numbers ultimately. I know they're not there this year to replace. Anybody can replace like the current numbers, but you still have to replace those numbers. So Semenyo or Olise? Okay. Let's ask the guy in the wheelchair from the beginning of the season. Which guy? Hold on. You lost me on that one. Oh, now I know. Now I remember what you're talking about. That asshole. Okay, I get it now. I get it now. Good job. Good one, bro. Depends on the Mo can stop the drama and get back into form. I don't know. Do you guys have faith in that one? Because I agree, and this rarely happens. So let's highlight this moment and frame it. That I agree with Bob here. That it is like I just don't see this getting back. Listening to Slot yesterday too, it feels like there's a lot more to it than him just coming out. But I don't think any of us would appreciate what he did, because you literally came out and said you guys should fire this guy if you like me. Anybody who likes me, fire this guy, is basically what that was. And I don't think you like it if you're that guy, and I don't blame him. I would not either, and I would expect Mo to come back to me. I just would not say it in an interview, but he's Dutch and he would. Maybe I'm more shady than he is. Mo's done. Let's look to the future, says Tony. Yeah, I mean, I hope not, man. It's just such a bad note to end. So do you guys think he's in the squad for Brighton, or we don't even see him in the squad? Because if you guys are saying he's done, that probably means when we go back. And why does he post? I mean, here's the thing, and I know there was like a big discussion, and I'm, having no part of it these days on Discord in terms of the post he did on Instagram. So let's throw it out there for a vote, because I think any other player posts that, And this is what I mean about like Mo being very calculated with everything he shares on posts and stuff like that and says to the media. Is him posting that is more about him again, as opposed to saying, good luck today, boys, or whatever, big match today, blah, whatever. I would have liked that. Um, so the key is he's not supposed to, he's gotta apologize to he can I think Mo can apologize to the fans and say, "Oh, I didn't mean to cause a distraction, blah blah blah," even though it will be a bullshit lie. He can say that. The thing is, he has to apologize to Slots. That's who he should be apologizing to, not us. You weren't after my job, but you were after his job. And not to mention, he should apologize to the team because everybody had to answer this freaking question because he could not keep it in house. So that's who you should be apologizing for. If he's not, and I don't know if he has that ego that Bob was talking about, and I think like Tony was saying it too. I don't know if his ego will let him apologize to Slots and the team. Team maybe, but the Slot, because that's the guy you should be apologizing to. He wasn't after my job. And I wasn't asked. Well, I guess I was. I was asked the questions for Mo, but at least we do this on a volunteer basis. So it's not like whereas he put everybody like every freaking question in the press conference was about Mo and stuff. So, and that's on Mo. But somehow that's excusable. That's Slot's fault. If you ask some people who are just like bloody, gorged eyes looking for more bloods, suck the blood off of manager vampires. Mo apologizes first, maybe, but I don't see it. I don't see it there to Tony, but yeah, the team like Slot. That's the biggest guy he's gonna apologize for. Team in terms of I'm sorry I brought this distraction on us. Not to mention, I don't know. There has to be people on the team like, yeah, this is like exactly what we fucking needed. Like when they're answering this stuff. So maybe they did. Maybe they're like, hey, it's something different to talk about. We just talk about Mo again. Wish we had some contract chats instead of talking about our form. But yeah, it's a huge distraction for everybody. I don't know. I listened to that press conference by Ali and I see a guy who did not appreciate how it all went down and expected better out of Mo. Let's put it that way. Because these guys have, you know, gone to battle with him. You guys know what I mean. Over like 7-8 years. And you expect a bit more if he feels like you. I think these people are more entitled to better than he is entitled to minutes over there. So Earthworm says, good morning, by the way. Robo 2 more years. I mean, I would be, I don't know if they would do 2 more years, but I would think at least one, right? And look at how Robertson carries himself. And that's the kind of leader I wish, Mo was, in terms of like the experienced player. Hold on. Earthworm is saying, okay, so Salah will leave in January. So you are doing the trade and bringing Semenyo in. A lot of like Semenyo ins. And I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I'm all for it. I wish it was an addition as opposed to the subtraction. But yeah, I mean, I hope Gordo is right. I think Gordo was saying like he'll be in the squad. If he lays another egg, I don't know. I don't know if he starts. I really don't know if he starts. He might just be. I mean, we played Tuesday, so Tuesday to Saturday, most of these people, unless there are any like injuries or anything like that, should be able to go again. You would think Chiesa will be back. Obviously, Gakpo is out, so you do need numbers for the front, but um, clearly we did the numbers up front too, but we said yeah, that's a lot more. It's more important to have people who want to be here as opposed to have another guy tag along just in case we need the sub and stuff. So I hope they resolve it, man. I mean, it would really be a shame to. I was talking about this on Monday night, I think. I mean, you go back and watch some old highlights. I fall in these black YouTube holes sometimes at night and watch some weird stuff. Not weird stuff like that, but like like old highlights and stuff. And like whenever Coutinho comes on, I loved freaking Coutinho. Like, love watching it. Like kept showing like the girls, and like Layla was a huge fan. Layla has a jersey that says Coutinho and stuff. And but like now when you watch those highlights, it's all like, man, that's a shame. Like what a guy he was, but that's a shame. You kind of like have that tone to it. I do not get that with Sadio. I do not get that with Bobby. Because I think, it's always going to end, and the end is never going to be great. but it ended in a normal note. Even like, like a guy like Diaz, for example. Like I think we will look back. Nunez, I'm not sure. I was like, what a scenario, what an experience that was is probably what we're gonna say. But you look at some names who have left. I would like to be able to watch highlights from like that front three and not think, man, he should have done better on the way out, kind of a thing. I guess that's my biggest thing. So um yeah, I think Gay is realistic. Has been robbed twice. Yeah, and honestly, like this was right. And I know, Jamie is getting a lot of shit for it because Jamie has always gone after Mo. So whatever he says now, it comes across worse. But I thought he had a very good point. And I know this is a team sport and stuff. But if Mo thinks, he's the one that's, he's entitled and he's done this and he's that great and stuff, Egypt, who's a country that's very, successful. I think he's the most successful. I think they won the AFCON the most. Has not won it with Mo yet. I hope they do this winter, because that will help him, especially if he's staying. But so like for him to, I thought that was like a good point that like he's not that player. This whole system is going around, like using Mo, making Mo the highlights, built around Mo, has made Mo what he is as well. Yes, Mo has made Liverpool, like helped Liverpool win a lot of stuff, but Liverpool has made Mo become Mo as well. And I think, I don't think he sees it that way. And he really should. No, don't even freaking say that, dude. Don't even freaking say that. It's way too early to say that. Not even close. I do see, yeah, I do get PTSD with him as well. So, let's see. It'll be sad to see Mo go, but I now fear that we will not see him on the pitch again. That's my concern, and that's what it would make it like really kind of like somber to see highlights of him afterwards if he's not in the Brighton squad and stuff. So, big couple of days coming over here. Now that the boys are back, but that's a huge win, man. I mean, Mo's whining and stuff alone. Obviously, that was a lot of the chat, but that was like a good win. That was a big win, especially for Champions League. If we're gonna make the top 8, you're pretty much guaranteed now at least to advance, I think. But making the top 8 wise, that was huge. So that's a tough place to go and win. I know we always win there and stuff, but it's never easy. So especially in the circumstances that they played under, I thought that was really, really good overall to see. Where, they got, I don't want to say we got lucky. And then that's another thing, like, like all the slot haters were like, Inter is so shit and stuff. Inter is not shit. Inter is like second in the league, I think, like right behind like Napoli and stuff. That's like a really good team. We did not let him play as good with the pressure we put, with the running we did, with the defensive shape we kept. So gotta give. I know, like when we beat someone, if you don't want to give team the credit, you're always like, "Oh, they were shit." That's why. We beat West Ham, they were shit, and then West Ham goes on that beats other people. It's like, that's not how it works. You gotta kind of give a little bit of the credit to the team for not letting Inter play their game. Did they have moments where they could have capitalized? Probably, and maybe it would change the entire narrative around the game. But overall, I thought we played like really well. And it would have been, I was okay with the 0-0 draw based on how that game was going, because I thought it was going to be like a good building block. So to win makes that block even a better building block over there. Harder one, Stevie G one. And that was like, I think Stevie G is a good example too. Like I wish I never saw Stevie G. I mean, I know most of you guys this morning are on the other side of the pond, but I don't know if you guys got to see Stevie G. And I mean, Gordo might have. I don't know if Z did, but Z probably did, because he was out in California at the time. But when he was here for like Galaxy, God, that was like really painful to watch. Looked like an injured animal on the side of the road. Like you're just like, oh man, like somebody put him out of his misery. It just looked bad. It just looked sad. And it's like, you never want to see, like I'm kind of like trying to erase those memories and like act like it never happened. But yeah, that was like an ugly watch, because I would tune in to watch it because CVG which is the only reason Galaxy probably signed him. But yeah, it was a really, really tough watch. So you jinxed him when you showed up over there. That's what you're saying, Z. I get it. At the international event until New Year's, that was the only game I felt we could afford to give up because that was yeah, and that's the disappointing part, really. When we looked at the schedule before the international break, I saw it as a really good chance to have a run, and we have not. Obviously, Sunderland, Forest, all these games, um, it should have really been like a good run. So we've got a couple of Wolves games coming up. I know Tottenham away seems like a tricky one right now, but you still have the fixtures are kind of in your favor. You have full weeks off where you can kind of implement stuff and actually practice. So I am hopeful if we get something out of, if we win against Brighton, we might hopefully maybe finally turning the tide over there. But that's why I think it's a big game in that sense over there. So yanked at halftime, I almost cried. I would have laughed at you too, to be fair. But let's face it, she laughs a lot at you. So that's just another day. Nothing to do with you like crying and stuff. So Forest Sunderland leads. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, don't even remind me because I always felt like, hey, if we go on a run with that fixture, and like there's like Wolves coming up and stuff, and I'll be like, hey, man, like you can really make up room, but yeah, unfortunately, it did not happen like that. But at least there's some stuff to be happy about. I'll see maybe even the Thursday crew tomorrow will be happy. You never know. We'll see what they make of the game tomorrow night. So do tune in for those guys. 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern, as always on Thursday nights. I'll be back Friday morning, or actually Gally might be back Friday morning as well. But yeah, we're especially after the holidays, a lot more stuff coming your way. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. And it's very, very important. I keep saying this. Please follow us on socials as well. But more importantly, please, please, please spread the words. Grab people by the ear. Bring their ass over here. But have a great day, everybody. And I'll see you guys soon. Take care.